Welcome to the Her Vibe is Pretty podcast, where you'll be guided on how to step up into your evolved woman,
design your dream life, and start living it. Let's get vibey. Welcome back, Pretty Vibe Tribe, to this week's episode of Her Vibe is Pretty. Our topic today is brought to you from my life and the episode that I need in this moment. So I have a gut feeling that if I need this episode, you guys do too.
You guys, Mary and I were talking before recording, and of course, per usual, she came up with the idea for the show, and she was like, "Yeah, we're doing this because this is my life." Like, yeah, brought to you by Mary's life. How aligning, which is great because, I just feel like you guys are going to be able to connect deeper because of that. So I'm excited for it.
But before we dive in, let's talk about what is making us feel vibey today. Sarah, you can go first.
All right. Minor thing that is literally something that's making me feel vibey today is this Her Vibe is Pretty crew neck that I'm wearing. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. It says Pretty Vibe Tribe, but it's red. And I am so for wearing holiday colors around the holidays. So
I know seeing you wear that makes me need to order a red one because it is such a Christmassy holiday vibe. And I love that.
It's just bringing like holiday cheer. I'm obsessed with the holiday season. So it's making me feel, very, very holiday-y. And the other thing I'm feeling vibey about is I am currently in a masterclass, which for this mentor that I learned from, it's really it's like a mini course. It's like a 3-module mini course, but she calls them master classes. So I'm taking one with her right now. Her name is Alpha Femme, and it has been literally mind-blowing. And the topics we're talking about aren't necessarily new. I'll share with you guys a couple of pieces of wisdom that have come through them. They're not really new to me. However, hearing them from her, it lands differently. So this woman is like at the top of the coaching, like she's one of the people at the top of the coaching and personal development industry. And it's like all online coaching that she does. And she is just slaying, as in making a very profound impact on the world as she's creating a ton of fulfillment and abundance for herself. And so hearing them from her, they just land differently because I'm like, oh, damn, we are all, and you guys are too. You guys are all aware of the topics that she's discussing right now, but sometimes it can be hard for the minds in us to actually trust them. But when you hear them from somebody like her, who's a little further down the line, who's making like a huge global impact, millions of dollars a year, living out her dreams, hearing her say that these are the key pieces to a happy and fulfilled life, it just lands differently. So Sunday, it started Sunday. So module 1 was all about how quantum leaps happen in the present moment and how the key to a quantum leap is being present, being in the now, being grateful for what is here now. Because when you try to plan for the future, when you think about the future case scenarios, when you think about future failures or like, what if this happens or what if this happens, no matter what end you live in, whether you think of like, what if something bad happens or what if something good happens, when you live in the future, you break quantum leap, because what a quantum leap is collapsing time. And when you quantum leap, it happens in the now. So this is all like, it's a little much. So just sit with this. But the whole module 1 was like presence, and being grateful for what's here now is the ultimate key to quantum leaping. Because once you start living in the future, you break the quantum leap because you're now creating time and space between you and what you desire. When quantum leaps are all about like, it's not going to take time to create what I desire because I can have it now. So that was module 1. Yesterday was
reminds me, pause for a second. It kind of reminds me of like living as is. I'm saying that wrong. Dreaming about it and like visualizing things
as
like
if it's
true. As if that's what I'm trying to say. As if it reminds me of that.
That's like what I honed into on the episode that I did on quantum leaping, is like act as if now. And it's because, yeah, like that's how you activate that quantum power in your system, is acting as if now. And I think the biggest takeaway from that for me was, when you plan for the future, when you think like, one day I desire this much money, or one day I desire to manifest my dream partner, or one day I desire to be in this role in my company, you create so much time between you and the thing that you want. And that's what makes it take a long time to get there, or seem like it does. But when you can come back to the present moment, that's when quantum shifts happen. And since then, I've been experiencing energetics of quantum shifts, which has been really cool to play with. So that's that. And then yesterday's was all about how pain is so important. And we talk about it here too. We have to feel to heal. So yesterday she went in really deep on feeling and allowing yourself to feel the pain. And you guys, oh my gosh, she shared this analogy. It was so good. She was talking about when you dip your toe into a body of water, whether it's a lake or a pool, you dip your toe in to see if the water is cold, right? If you should go in or not. And so what she's referring to in our lives is, when you're thinking about taking a risk or a leap of faith, when you're thinking about starting your own business, when you're thinking about asking that person out on a date, when you're thinking about maybe trying to have kids and, like become a mom or a dad, when you're thinking about big life decisions, quitting your job, when you're thinking about launching a course, you kind of start to dip your toe in a little bit, and you do research, and you like sit with it, and you think about it, and you go back and forth about it. She's like, you dip your toe in the water to see if the water is cold or not. And she's like, I am here to tell you the water is freezing. So are you coming or not? The water's freezing. Are you coming or not? Are you jumping in or not? She's like, it doesn't matter whether you dip your toe in or jump all the way in, you're still going to experience pain. You're still going to experience struggle. You're still going to experience failure. Of course, you're going to have like some bliss and some happy times too with both. However, when you're dipping your toe in, you're wasting time. Like you have to decide, am I going to sit here and dip my toe in for my entire life? Or am I going to just jump into the freezing water that I know is freezing, and accept that that comes with a lot of pain and also a lot of bliss and joy and expansion. And then she went on to talk about how, like, where she's at now in her life. So for full transparency, she has hit $21 million in cash for 2021 in her business. And this woman is just like, I mean, she's so in tune with herself, and everything's effortless. She doesn't have sales pages. She doesn't have a website. Like, she prides herself on making it all simple. And she literally has created this business for herself in the quantum energetics, in the energy field. And for full transparency, she's made $21 million cash in her business this year. And she prides herself on doing it in such a simple way. She doesn't have a website. She doesn't create sales pages. She is so in tune with herself and her body and her impact. Like, the 21 million that she's making isn't just like, oh, cool, I'm just making millions. It means something really deep to her, because she's making such a massive impact on the world. And one of her missions is just changing the way that we see wealth and that we carry wealth as women. And so something else that she landed with us is, where she's at now, the anxiety doesn't go away. The stress does not go away. The sad times do not go away. Of course. And as you guys know, there are so many tools to not live from a place of your anxiety, not live from a place of the sadness and the fear and all of the worry, but that doesn't go away. However, what she says is that even where she's at now in her life, the pain that she felt when she was not where she's at now, because she was homeless at one point, living in her car. So the pain that she felt when she was homeless, living in her car, it's the same pain that she's experiencing now. But the difference in energetics and emotions of where she's at now is that the joy and the fulfillment and the pleasure and the bliss that she experiences now today, where she's at, is enhanced times thousands. So it's like the pain is always going to be there. And it's just that if you jump fully in, you're going to experience way more deeper bliss and expansion and pleasure and joy and all of the things. So that was day 2. and then I have my next training is tonight, and then I have one more tomorrow.
Yeah, I freaking love that. You've mentioned her to me before, and I feel like I need to check her out deeper than I have so far, because I love everything you said. And I want to share with you guys, like, it, for one, it makes me so happy to see someone who financially is like knocking it out of the park. And it's so easy to think like she's got it all figured out. She doesn't experience pain. Like, look at all the abundance she has in her life. She doesn't deal with this stuff anymore. She's so, involved in all that. But for her to say like, no, I still do. It's just different.
Right.
And I am living it proof of the whole dip your toe analogy, because for 5 years, I wanted to start a business, and I dipped my toe for 5 years until I dove in headfirst. And the times where I think like, ooh, I wish I would have, like, I wish I could go back in time, and I can't. So it's not worth spending my time dwelling on that. But I do think I can completely agree. And I am living proof. Like, I dipped my toe. I was so frustrated. Things weren't progressing the way I wanted them to. I was getting so jealous and envious of other people who were doing the things I wanted to be doing, but didn't have the courage to dive and go full in.
Right.
And I just think too, like, it was like wasting time. Like, there's always a lesson, it got me to where I am. So now I can share this with you guys and teach people about my journey and the things that, if I could go back in time, I would have just dove in. I was just so afraid.
Yeah.
And easier said, hindsight's 2020, but it's very true. And that really hit home when you were saying that to me. So think about that, you guys. Like, it's the water's freezing. So do you dip your toe in and experience that freezing, or do you dive head first and just go for it and experience the freezing?
Exactly. There's always going to be pain.
It's so much more fulfilling when you go all in.
Exactly.
So
you get the reward in return for feeling the pain. You're going to feel the pain. You're going to feel the worry. You're going to feel the fear. You're going to have the failures no matter what, whether you're dipping your toe in or jumping in. So it's either you dip your toe, you experience that stuff, and you get maybe a reward here and there, or you jump all the way in and everything's enhanced.
Yeah, that was really, really good and really profound. And my VIBEY is a lot less deep.
It's okay. Let's hear it.
So I've got two. For the love of God, will someone teach me how to do makeup like Adele? I am VIBEY about Adele and her makeup and her new album. And I'm seeing her everywhere. Like, how does she do the winged eyeliner?
I don't know. I think I've only seen one. I saw one picture because I was on Spotify and she just released something, but I haven't seen legit pictures.
I mean, the one on Spotify I literally screenshot this morning. So I am VIBEY about Adele right now. Her vibe, her like energy, her this whole like coming out with an album, like her last album that she came out with, like got me through my breakup with Jake when we took time apart. Like that, I listened to that like on freaking repeat. So like she holds a special place in my heart. And I'm just so obsessed with her makeup right now. Like, someone please teach me. So after we record, I'm going to go onto YouTube and start searching Adele makeup tutorials. The other not deep thing I'm vibey about is, okay, and I feel like this one's a little bit backwards, but hear me out. I am feeling vibey about Instagram ads and how they can read my mind and like know what I want before I even know that I want it.
Oh, okay.
I know everyone is like against it and like, don't listen on my phone. I'm like, no, please listen, because I don't have time now to figure this stuff out. I have gotten like the most accurately targeted ads, and I've ordered some of the cutest jammies and winter coats and fall things, and I'm so excited for them to start coming in.
Amazing.
So kind of
good job,
silly.
Instagram. Let's call Aria and tell people, whoever's doing that, tell them good job.
They're nailing it. So yeah, I'm excited because I've been like, I mean, you guys know I'm like all about comfort, and I work from home. I'm like stay-at-home mom / like yoga teacher. So I wear a lot of comfortable things, but I have been getting down on some like matching like sweatsuits.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
They're the best.
So that's all you guys will see me wearing once they arrive.
All right. that really does kind of lead us into our topic-ish because holidays are coming up. So obviously Mary's getting lots of ads coming her way that are probably meant for like Christmas gift ideas. She's just buying herself all the Christmas gifts. I love it. I'm so here for it. I am such a fan of I usually shop on Black Friday for myself. No shame.
Yeah.
But today we are talking all about overwhelm with the holiday season and how to move through it, how to flow through it, how to manage it. So Mary, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, this one is, like I said in the beginning of this episode, this is the episode that I need.
Mm-hmm.
I always feel overwhelmed around the holidays, like basically Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. Like it's so fun, but there's so much going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this year, especially for me on that personal note of like being a first time mom, like navigating the holidays with the baby, it like is adding to that feeling of overwhelm and stress right now. And so I started catching myself thinking like, what are the reminders I'm telling myself in this moment when I'm feeling this like stress? Like I have done a really good job, like kind of minimizing the anxiety that I feel in the morning. And all of a sudden I'm feeling it creep up again. And I'm just taking note of like the things that I'm reminding myself, as well as wanting to be like, Sarah, how should I work through this? So I was like, let's make today's episode about this.
I love it.
So I'll kind of kick it off with like the go-to thing that I've been telling myself is that feeling overwhelmed and feeling stressed around the holidays, for me, I'm noticing is like my default thought pattern. So whether I really am overwhelmed, whether I am feeling really stressed or I have a lot going on, I feel like after I kind of took that moment to like pause and check in, I really don't have that much stuff going on.
Yeah.
All of our plans got like figured out really easily. I truly believe it is just my mind going into that default thought pattern of like, it's the holidays, so you're going to feel stressed and overwhelmed.
Yeah. Well, let me add to that and remind you all that generational inheritance is a big thing. So if you grew up in a family where your mom was always super stressed out of like getting all the cooking done and getting all the and cleaning the house and all the things, like that could have been passed on to you. You might have just learned from a really young age that holidays mean stress and mean chaos and mean worry. And that doesn't have to be your reality if you don't want it to be.
Yeah, I was reading, one of my past clients actually posted in her stories a page out of the book, The Secret. And it was a page and I was like, I tried to find it this morning. I thought I screenshot it and I didn't. But it basically said something along the lines of, it gets to be fun. Life gets to be flowy. Life gets to be easy and enjoyable, abundant. So like lean into that energy. And I read that and I was like, dang, like that's so right. Like I'm leaning into this stressed, anxious, overwhelmed energy, but I can choose what energy I lean into. And so now I'm choosing to lean into like the fun, the excited, the loving, the abundant energy, like the gratitude, that feeling of gratitude energy right now, because we're getting to spend more time with our friends and our family. Like this is Ava's first holiday season. So I'm like really leaning into like the fun, exciting, loving side of that.
Yeah.
And it feels so much better. And it really does like give me that shift in my experience of like where I'm feeling, what I'm feeling.
Totally. So I want to add a little bit more onto this and share a huge tip that has really, really helped me navigate this over the past couple of years, because same once upon a time, I just innately felt overwhelm and stress and anxiety around the holiday season. And I also really, really love the holiday season. My mom has always been a huge fan of Christmas and would like go all out with everything. And so it always has just made me happy because that's the memories I have growing up. And so what I've started to do, because I don't desire to feel stressed and anxious through the holiday season. I really want to be able to tap into like, I'm going to be present and enjoy this. So one thing that can be super helpful during the holiday season is to take more breaks. And I know that sounds basic, but here's the thing. If you have that generational inheritance in your system of the holidays are going to be stressful and overwhelmed, and it's not even just generational inheritance from parents, it's also from society, because you hear, you watch movies and there's stress and on the holiday movies growing up. Like
Chaos and drama. And it's like,
yeah, drama. Exactly. So if that's ingrained in your system, the thing is that's not going anywhere unless you do some somatic releasing, because that kind of a stuff gets trapped in your bodies, kind of like limiting beliefs. Subconscious mind is your body. I mean, if it's like the head and the mind too, but it's the subconscious mind is the body keeps score. So if you were taught that and it was implied that holidays are always going to be stressful and anxious, that's trapped in your body somewhere. So my recommendation is when you feel that coming up, excuse yourself, take a break, whether maybe you're at home at work, or maybe you are at a holiday party, or maybe you're at some kind of get together. Take a break and move through the energy you're feeling in whatever way that looks like to you. So for me, it is at holiday parties, I do this to this day. If I'm starting to feel that buildup of overwhelm, and another thing that can contribute to the overwhelm is just being overstimulated and being around a bunch of people when you're not usually used to it. I feel like right now with everything that's been happening with COVID, a lot of us are pretty used to being alone or not with a lot of people. So when you're with a lot of people, it can be really overwhelming. So take a break, go find another room, go upstairs. For me, it looks like taking some really deep breaths in just some space of silence. Sometimes it can be screaming into a pillow. I usually don't do that when I'm at like a holiday party, but I definitely do that when I'm home.
What the heck is Sarah doing upstairs? What is going on up there?
To be honest, at this point, my family probably wouldn't be surprised and they probably wouldn't think anything of it. But taking more breaks during this time can be super helpful. And once again, it sounds so simple, but you guys, it is a simple practice that's powerful. If you take these intentional breaks to move through whatever you're feeling. So let's say it's anxiety in your chest. What does it look like for you to actually process and release that? Does it look like a scream? Does it look like some deep breaths? Does it look like a mini breathwork session? Does it look like a meditation? Does it look like just like holding it and breathing into it? Does it look like some intuitive movement or like shaking out your shoulders? Shaking can be such a powerful tool to use for this. So take as many breaks as you can to actually move through and process it, because that will help it to not come back. And think about it, once you release that stuck emotion in your body, you're creating a lot more space within to actually drop into your body, be present, and open your heart to the beauty and the love that the holiday season can bring.
Yeah, I completely agree. And again, like this is the episode that I wish I had, because I just recently hosted a Friendsgiving. I feel like at the end of the night, like it went by so fast.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I wish I would have taken a moment to pause and like soak it all in.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I kind of am like, not mad at myself, but like I'm kind of like annoyed that I didn't do that and give myself that gift. And like, I think you mentioned this and I just want to like really drive this point home, is like when you give yourself that space to either like remove yourself from the situation, or even in the situation, just pause and like take those couple deep breaths, you are giving yourself that gift of the present moment, of tuning back into the here and now, not like, okay, how much more time on the turkey? Okay, who brought the desserts? Okay, so-and-so's not here yet. Who's messaged them? Or like, this baby's crying. I need to go help the baby. Like there's so many things going around and going on, but it all kind of went by in a big blur. And I was like really bummed out about that. And I feel like it would have made the event so much more fun and memorable and not so blurry if I would have given myself that space to pause and soak it in.
Absolutely. So that goes into another thing that resonates. I mean, it goes hand in hand with everything we're talking about here, but this is another tool that I use to really allow myself to enjoy the holiday season more, is saying no.
Yeah.
Saying no.
Right? Like
oh my
setting
gosh.
some boundaries, and like, and it's okay to do that. It's okay to not say yes to every single thing that's asked of you. Or if you tend to do that, which I'm like totally guilty of that, instead of saying like, what can I do? Instead offer like, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Boom.
Right. So I'm in that, yes, to all of that. And I'm kind of talking about as well, because this is what I've faced, is not feeling pressure to go to every single holiday party you're invited to. For me, I have divorced parents and I have a boyfriend and he has family. He has grandparents and parents and sisters and brothers. And on top of all of that and all the holiday parties that come with all of that, just being invited to like cookie making parties and going to get trees and doing all of this stuff. It is okay to say no. So I'm just going to be super real, raw, and honest about what I flowed through for this Thanksgiving. So I see Thanksgiving a little bit different than Christmas, at least in the United States. And I know that I'm pretty sure we're the only ones to celebrate Thanksgiving, but I'm sure that other countries, you guys probably have similar holidays to Thanksgiving. I'm pretty sure you do. So Thanksgiving, as when we're recording this week is Thanksgiving. And for Christmas, I will say we all kind of make more of an effort to make all the parties. So for Christmas, I will be doing a celebration with my mom, with my dad's family, and then also with my boyfriend's family too. We're making that work. And thankfully everybody is being very like nice about the times. But if they weren't, we would have to say no to some things. But with Thanksgiving, my mom asked me, will you cook with me and celebrate Thanksgiving with me and her boyfriend and their family? And then my boyfriend's family invited me over for their Thanksgiving. And then my dad's family also invited me to the other side of the state for their Thanksgiving. Old me, once upon a time, I would have felt pressure to do it all. I would have felt bad saying no to somebody. I would have felt so bad saying no. I would have tried to make all of it work. I probably would have drove to the other side of the state, did a Thanksgiving there, drove back 3 hours in that same day, went to my boyfriend's family's, and then went over to my mom's and spent the night. And it's a lot. And that would have taken away from the holiday. And I've just really gotten good at saying no and slowing down. I also used to have a limiting belief that with Christmas, it's got to be a go, go, go thing, like party to party to party. And then I realized a couple years ago, I actually don't want to be running around like a chicken with its head cut off during Christmas. I desire peace. I want to watch Christmas movies. I want to watch the snowfall. It was so ingrained in my system that you have to spend Christmas with people all day long. And I'm like, no, that just doesn't feel good in my system anymore. I want to be able to just take in the peacefulness of Christmas Day. So, and I actually, you know what? Yeah, last year I did say yes to a couple Thanksgivings. This year, I'm like, thank you so much for the offer. I really, really do appreciate you inviting me, but no, thank you. I'm doing Thanksgiving with my mom this year. So my mom and I are going to cook, and my sister lives in Denver and my boyfriend works. So it's just going to be us cooking for her boyfriend and her boyfriend's family. But it's going to feel so much better waking up on Thanksgiving, knowing that I only have one thing to do, and that's spend time with my mom and dance and sing as we're cooking the meal. And it's going to be so much more fulfilling than trying to make all the parties. So it is okay to say no, give yourself permission.
Yeah. The other thing I want to add to that, because that's one thing I'm actually really, really grateful for, is our families are all very flexible. Mm-hmm. And yes, like we try to have our family get-togethers like as close to Thanksgiving or as close to Christmas as we can, but we also give ourselves that space to like, if we don't celebrate like on Christmas Day, it's okay. Yeah.
Right.
Like, because when we are like, as your family grows, like you said, you're like, I've got my family stuff. We've got Jake's family stuff. Like we've got his mom, we've got his aunts and uncles. We've got like my extended family, like so many. And then like, we've got holiday parties and all that. Like it can feel like so much, but I was so grateful because this year we started planning ahead. So it wasn't like we like made these plans like a month ago, which was so much easier because it gave us that time to like sort it out and like nail down when we were going to spend time with who on what days. And we also gave a lot of flexibility. Like, everyone was cool with like, okay, maybe we're not going to celebrate on Thanksgiving Day, but we'll do it like that Sunday or we'll do it Friday after. So we can like do a bunch of things, but it's not like all stacked in the same day. So like we do get that space and that time at each event to like be present and be chill and hang out. Yeah. There's like that space to do there instead of that like, hi everyone, doom, you know, smash your food and then out the door onto your next party. Like where's the fun in that?
No, so there's none.
Having flexibility and like being open to that, and maybe you're the one that suggests that to your family too. You know, as your family grows, it does get trickier to line everything up. But if everyone kind of comes with this like open mind and this like ability to be flexible, it just makes it a lot more fun. And like I like don't know about you too, but like I'm a huge advocate of like let's celebrate as often as possible. So like if I'm going to go to a party, I don't want the parties to be in the same day. I want to go to like one party one day, another party the next day, then like the next day. You know what I'm saying? Like I love spreading out the fun and the joy. So
and if your families aren't flexible, because I know that there are some people, like I can think of a couple of friends right now that like my parents are batshit crazy, and there's like they just are not understanding about this kind of stuff. That's like also when you get to use the power of no and put yourself first. I want you guys, I'm going to invite you all to tune into your bodies and to tune into your intuition, your soul's yes, and your soul's no. So I'm going to give you one more example and then we can move on. But for Christmas, my mom started to talk to me like planning Christmas, and we always do Zach's family that afternoon. So that's like set in stone. My dad's family is usually not on Christmas, so we're doing that Christmas Eve. But what my mom was saying, because I want to see my dad just on Christmas in general. And so my mom was like talking about, oh yeah, you guys can go to your dad's house. And instantly my body was like, no, that doesn't feel good. Once again, I like peace on Christmas Day. I love slow mornings. I don't want to have to feel like I have to get up and do presents and get ready and drive. I don't even like driving Christmas morning. Like I just want to be. And that felt like a no in my system. So I was like, no, actually that doesn't feel good. Instead, I'm going to have dad over to our house. And it's kind of weird because right now we're living in my mom's house, but my mom doesn't live here and they're exes, but thankfully I'm really grateful that they get along. So anyway, that was just something, maybe it could have seemed really minor. And the mind of me might've been like, oh yeah, that's way more convenient for my dad if we go over to his house and do it there. But it felt like a no to me. So I'm like, no, I'm actually going to invite him over and, see what he thinks about that. So just don't be afraid to ask for what you desire to make it a good holiday for you. Because if you're happy and if you feel peaceful, then that's just going to contribute and enhance the peace and the happiness of those that you love who are surrounding you during these days in this season.
Love that. The last thing that I've been using to kind of ease my overwhelming feelings lately is asking myself the question, what can I do to make this more fun? Mm-hmm. I love that practice. And I love this practice, not just for around the holidays, but truly your everyday life. But ask yourself, like, if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling overwhelmed, how can I make this situation more fun? Like, what can I do to enjoy this moment more than I currently am? So and give yourself that space to like answer that question for yourself and then do those things. Like, again, the holidays are meant to be fun. Right. They're meant to be flowy. They're meant to be like a really joyful, exciting time. So don't sabotage that for yourself by making things hard and stressful and back to back to back to back. Like give yourself that space. How can you make this more fun? And then freaking do it.
Yeah. What are some ways that you can make it more fun? I have one.
So what I've been doing lately is, since I have Ava with me all the time, is like turning on fun music while I'm getting things ready and like kind of making it like, she's obviously not dancing quite yet, but I can tell like her and I are going to have some bomb dance parties.
I love it.
Standing, but we kind of like, I'll sing to her and I'll kind of be dancing while I'm like prepping this or prepping that or like getting this ready. And it just brings like a more joyful vibe to a task that I need to get done. Yeah. Oh, okay. I have one more thing that I want to add too. Yeah. I've also found that I feel a lot better when I start taking action. Like if I dwell on all the things I need to do, that's like not a good vibe or energy to be in. But once I get into it, once I start making it fun and like making it a thing, it feels so good. And I feel so much lighter. Yeah. So I feel like I took a hard turn there because I was like, hey, how can I make this more fun? But I also feel like I've been easing a lot of my like overwhelm, anxiety around the holidays by just starting to like get these things done. And it feels really good.
Totally. I feel that. I mean, by the time this episode drops, it'll probably be a little too late for this, but I thought I had the same thought, and maybe you guys can plan for next year, because actually this is me embodying what I taught myself last year, which is stop waiting last minute to Christmas shop. So this year we have adopted 2 families, which feels really good. We started adopting families last year and it was so much fun and so fulfilling. And so this year we're doing 2. And I already started shopping because I knew last weekend that I was going to have the most space because Thanksgiving's this week. So I knew things were going to start to get a little bit busier, especially with my business right now too. I'm launching a couple of new things. So I planned ahead of time and I'm like, you know what? I don't have to wait till Black Friday to shop. Let me start shopping now. And so I did. And it felt really good to start getting that done before things got busy. But a couple other things to make it more fun is karaoke is always a hit with at least some people. I know that's not every family's favorite, but usually my mom is like literally the karaoke queen. She brings her traveling microphone with her everywhere. And
I think that is hilarious because I cannot be drunk enough to do karaoke. Like I will never. But I will applaud you and you will make me laugh and make me happy.
Yeah, but bringing a karaoke mic, there are probably going to be people at your family party who grab the mic and who will do it. And it's going to be like so much fun for everybody. Because here's what I was getting at is my mom is a karaoke star, but she'll bring her microphone to the party and all these people, you'll start seeing them one by one. Like they'll start to gain confidence as people do it. So my mom will start out and then her boyfriend will do it, which he was never a karaoke person before he started dating her. He'll do it. And then all of a sudden you'll see his mom get up and she'll want to sing a song. And then like everybody just and then we all start singing together and it's so fun. So karaoke is the way that we make things more fun. Obviously like playing games, that's pretty basic, but really, so how to make it more fun and enjoyable goes into my last two pieces that I want to share here, which are open your heart. Like just truly open your heart during the holiday season. If you're feeling overwhelmed, there's a chance that your heart's a little bit closed off to the goodness and the love that can be brought into your experience. And I want to hone in on this with, even if you're somebody who's not necessarily celebrating with a bunch of family. I know that COVID is really coming back around in a couple of our listeners' countries right now. So who knows if they'll be able to spend it with their families or not. But if you can open your heart and open it to love and drop into gratitude, it's going to make the holidays so much more enjoyable. And when I say that, I literally mean do it physically, like roll your shoulders back, stick your chest out, open your heart, relax your body. Approaching the holidays and family parties from that place changes the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
And trust that, just trust that everything's going to get done and it's all going to work out. I think the stories that we tell around the holiday season is what creates the overwhelm, but it always gets done. Like look back on past holidays. It's always gotten done. And when things go wrong, you always figure it out. So I'm thinking of this girl. I don't know if she listens or not, but there was this situation where they like made this whole meal for, I can't remember if it was Thanksgiving or Christmas or what, but somebody took like one of the main dishes. It was in a glass dish and they put it on a hot plate and it completely shattered.
Oh no.
And so it shattered. So like when it shattered, it went into all the rest of the food. So they couldn't eat any of their meal. But they figured it out. Like they kind of just were like, well, shit, what do we do now? Like we just spent hours cooking this meal and it's ruined. And they ended up like being like, well, that sucks. They laughed it off. They figured it out. It all worked out. And now that girl she posts the video on her story every year and it brings so many laughs to so many other people.
Like
it's
good
always
story to tell after the fact, for sure. I feel like so many things in life are like that. You choose to have, all of glass and all of your food, and you're just gonna like, now you're pissed and like now the day is ruined, or are you gonna be like, we've got glass in all of our food, this is disgusting, insane, not safe, like what can we do now? Like let's go get McDonald's for Thanksgiving dinner, which is like not what I'm recommending, but it is what it is. And it's a funny story to tell.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Yeah, you make the best of it.
Just using that example to tell you guys and remind you guys that it always works out. The presents get bought, the wrapping gets done, the family parties happen, the food gets cooked, like it's all going to work out. So just breathe through every step of planning your holiday parties or being at your holiday parties and see last piece that we started out with. So full circle, presence. Be as present as possible. Focus on the here and now. Focus on the task at hand. If your task is grocery shopping, be in the grocery store while you're there. Be there buying the ingredients. If your task is creating a pumpkin pie, be in the moment as you mix the ingredients, as you put the pie in the oven. If your task is having a conversation with your aunt, be present with your aunt. Presence will seriously carry you through, and it will really dodge a lot of overwhelm.
Absolutely. And so how I want to end this episode is, if you're in a safe space, if you're not driving, close your eyes. If you're driving, keep your eyes open. And I want you to take a really deep breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to relax the shoulders, relax the jaw. Go ahead and take one more big deep breath in. And a nice breath out. And just remember that everything's going to work out. You are going to have the most amazing holiday this year. You are loved. You are valued. You have so much in your life to be grateful for in this very moment. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, but right now. You are exactly where you need to be. And it's all going to be so fun and so amazing. Put a smile on your face and then open your eyes.
That was beautiful.
We love you guys so much. And
so much.
We are so grateful to have you here in this community every single day. But I feel like I've been reflecting on it more recently with just the holidays upon us. Mm-hmm. And truly like giving you the biggest hug right now, because each and every one of you listening means the world to us.
Yeah.
It's why we keep showing up.
Exactly.
It's why we started this podcast in the first place, is to connect with you.
Yeah.
So we love you. We are so grateful for you. And thank you so much for being part of our Pretty Vibe tribe.
Yeah. We love you guys so dearly. And we really appreciate you guys being here. So thank you for showing up to the show. Thank you for listening to the episodes. Thank you for engaging with us on Facebook and on our Instagram. Thank you for deciding to do the work on yourself. Whether you're still dipping in your toe or jumping all the way in, doesn't matter. Just thank you for having the drive and having the drive to do the work on yourself and showing up for yourself time and time again, no matter how many times you fall off, no matter how many times you feel like you're starting over. The point is, you're still here. You're still listening to this episode. And that tells us that you're still setting the intention of doing the work on yourself to live a better life. So thank you, because that's how we heal the world.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk to you guys next week on the Her Vibe is Pretty podcast. Have an amazing day. We love you, and goodbye.
Bye.